This is the Mindset Over Bullshit interview. They're discussing healthcare, raising kids, and creating income from social media. This is more than a message. This is more you than a movement. This is a lifestyle. Mindset over bullshit.
That Queen, happy National Watermelon Day.
Is that why my husband got watermelon today? He got some watermelon that was already cut, and it was in little slices. And I told him, "Oh, I want some," and he said no. And then no, then while he was driving along, he gonna look at me and say, "You want some watermelon?" Yes, I want watermelon. I already didn't ask you for it. What are you talking about? Yes, I want watermelon, sir. Give me some watermelon. And so I had watermelon today. I didn't know it was the day for it.
Yep, it is the day for it.
But I'm on theme.
It's the day for it. I was trying to get my wife to take us out for margaritas because there's like a Mexican restaurant where you can get it's a bunch of Mexican restaurants, of course, but there's one in particular that has I can go the peach watermelon margarita. Ooh, it is something to write stories about. Oh man, it is so good. Yeah. And when I first got it, she made fun of me like, who wants a peach watermelon? Like, what kind of combination is that? I don't know. Try something new. And that thing was on hits. Oh man.
I believe
Man.
It sounds good. I love fruit though, like all fruit. So
You like sangrias?
I do not drink right now. So I don't think I've ever had a sangria. I don't know if I've ever had a sangria. My favorite thing to drink when I was drinking was Long Island iced tea.
Ooh. That can be a plus. That can be a negative because I feel like with a Long Island iced tea, you never know how strong it is until it's too late.
Oh, I always know how strong mine is, and I'm fine with it. I don't care how strong they make it. I'm good. Let's go. However strong you want to pour it. They would ask me. I was in college at the time, so I was much younger and much more able to synthesize the alcohol through my body. And they say, "Oh, I pour it strong," and I'm like, "That's fine. Go for it. I don't care."
Do it big. Do it big. Go big or go home. Did you stop drinking because of multiple sclerosis or you gave it up before then?
I stopped drinking because of this diet that I'm on, which is due to multiple sclerosis. Yeah. So yes, I haven't had a drink in over 2 years now.
Nice. Snap it up for that. Snap it up for that. Congratulations on that.
But I wasn't a heavy drinker anyway. In college I was. I was the one who could make I could make drinks with Everclear and nobody knew it was Everclear in that because I was good. I'm good.
I tried to do in college, my roommates and I decided to throw a fish fry one day. And we had Everclear and we had Kool-Aid. So I decided to try to mix the Everclear and Kool-Aid, and that shit didn't fool nobody.
Nobody.
You can't do it. No. Fool nobody. Oh man.
What you gotta do is you gotta start with frozen fruit and you blend it with your frozen fruit. You can add a little bit of honey maybe and blend it into their frozen fruit. And then also mix in, I think I mixed in coconut rum. Nice. And that cut the taste too.
Yeah. Nice.
And so I was mixing. I told everybody in the room, hello, everybody, I do have Everclear. I'm going to put Everclear into these drinks. So nobody was caught by surprise. And they start taking it to the head. And I'm like, look, don't drink it that fast. There's Everclear in there. And they're like, I'm fine. This tastes great. And I'm like, okay, everybody was on the ground at the end of the night.
That's how it's supposed to go. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's what you call a good ass story.
Okay, you're disabled. Is it harder to give up draws or get the draws?
That's a good one. That's a good one. I gotta take a shot on that one. That's a good one.
Story. Sasha, 1,000 thank yous for joining me. This is Mindset Over Bullshit, a podcast that I'm using to build a space to create a community for MSers, for wheelchair users, for anybody rocking a chronic illness, for anybody who is creating or rolling with the thought of gratitude. I've been doing this now for a couple of years. So 1,000 thank yous for joining me on this because I don't know. I guess I fell asleep at maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock today. I tried some new medicine and man, I didn't wake up until 2 hours later. Wow, that was something else.
I understand. Falling asleep. That's what happened last night. I was supposed to come to the row house
hmm
and I laid down for just a second and woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, I'm gonna rest my eyes. And I rested on through the night. Okay, because I
Nice.
did not wake up again until
Nice.
late.
See, I don't get long sleeping sessions. My sleeping sessions, I sleep 2 hours at a time. I can't really sleep longer than 2 hours because of the bathroom stuff. One of my
Hmm.
MS symptoms. I'm at the primary progressive stage of multiple sclerosis. You know what stage you're
Hmm.
at?
I'm RRMS.
Nice.
Hmm.
Nice. See, when they found mine in 2016. I was already at secondary, so I was already had a bad walk, already had that gait in my walk, already had a bunch of symptoms
Hmm.
going. I just didn't think it was multiple sclerosis. I knew what it was because I got family members with it. I lost a couple of aunts to complications of multiple sclerosis. I'm like the third cousin on both sides of the family to get multiple sclerosis. I think it's like 6 of us total. 3 aunts have passed away, got
Hmm.
2 cousins and me, so 3 cousins total. So I knew what it was. I really didn't think it was that's what my problem was. I kept going to like gyms and stuff like that. And in the gym, the people kept telling me, well, no, what's going on is that your core is so weak. Oh my gosh, we got to work on your core. Why is your core so weak? Shit, because my goddamn brain shit was going on. But all
Hmm.
that stuff was all that was part of the length it took to get diagnosed. It took me about a year. It took me maybe a year to get diagnosed.
Hmm. I've been hearing horror stories about diagnosis. My diagnosis went smooth. I mean, as far as diagnoses go, because I had my symptoms, my first major symptom I had in January of 2021. And I
hmm
didn't know at the time that I was pregnant, but that's when my first big symptoms kicked in. And it was just like really pain in my legs. And it happened at the same time. So when I went to the neuro, and told him what happened when the onset came. He was like, it was both legs at the same time. I'm like, yes. He's like, that's weird. Usually it's one leg or the other, and maybe the second one comes later. And I'm like, okay, but that's what happened. He's like, I don't know. It might not be MS. And I'm like, it's probably MS. My mom has MS.
Mm.
So it's likely MS, sir. But okay, whatever. Just do the test. Whatever test we could do, because I was still pregnant at the time. And he was like, we can't do no real definitive test until you get done being pregnant. So I got done being pregnant. And got out of the hospital from being pregnant, and they were like, you got to come back and get MRIs and stuff. But my husband had just started a new job, so he's my ride. I don't drive. He drives me everywhere. And I'm like, okay, so he's gonna take off of work for me to go get the MRI. And it was just so stressful. I was postpartum, my hair was falling out, it was a mess. And I ain't do nothing until June of 2022. I woke up and my eyes would not move at the same time, right? I
Mm.
had ophthalmyalgia, I think is what they call it. And my eyes would not move at the same time. And I was like really disoriented because I can't see. And also my legs were very weak. So I had a 9-month-old baby. I'm trying to hold the baby. She can't walk yet. I'm trying to walk around. I'm like, this is not going to work. I got to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital and they were like, okay, basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna put you on a steroid, and if your symptoms clear up, then you got MS.
And it was
Nah.
that simple. Wow.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So they gave me the steroid. They put me on the 3-day steroid
Yep.
regimen, and the symptoms cleared up. I left the hospital with, an eye patch on because my eyes still weren't moving at the same time together, but I could see out of one. I could see out of one eye at a time.
hmm
So I left with a patch on. I ended up having to put a whole mask on my eyes because the sun, it wasn't like extremely bright, but the way my brain was interpreting it, it was like killing my brain. I was like, I can't do it. I gotta have something over my eyes this whole time.
hmm
And so I had my eyes covered that whole time. But that was my big hospitalizationable relapse. And I haven't had one since. So
Wow.
that's it.
Wow. That's the first story. So you didn't get diagnosed. When you got diagnosed, you were already pregnant.
No, I was done with my pregnancy, but I had my first major symptom when I was pregnant.
Okay.
And I didn't know I was pregnant. It was a few months later. Actually, my pregnancy story is ridiculous, but
Wow.
so
Holy
I
shit.
got pregnant, had the symptoms, didn't have insurance. So we had to go through the process of getting insurance once I found out I was pregnant. Because the leg
Mhm.
thing, it wasn't like it was debilitating. It was painful only when somebody touched it, and eventually that pain kind of went away. And I just
Okay.
had decreased sensation. It's not numbness. I could still feel things when you touch me or if I touch it, It
Mhm.
was just a decreased sensation. It was technically neuropathy, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad enough for me to go to the hospital about it. Put
I'm
it that
picking up
way.
what you're putting down. Yeah, I'm picking up what you're
So
putting down. I go through that shit a lot too.
yeah, so I was like, I ain't going to no hospital about it. Ain't no big deal. But then I found out I was pregnant. I was like, oh, I guess I got to get a doctor now. So I got the state insurance, went to the doctor, and by the time I got to the doctor, I was in my final trimester.
Mm.
Like that's how ridiculous.
God, dog, you were putting it, you decided, you know what? Let me go and take all this and do all this at one time.
Right, basically. So I went to the doctor and they were like, "Oh, you probably gonna have this baby in October." And I was like, "What?" Because I was going in hoping for a Capricorn. I wanted a December baby. I said, "Let me get a Capricorn because I need more Earth signs in my house." And
Mm.
I didn't get it. I got a second Libra, so now I have two Libras, a Sagittarius, and their daddy is a Scorpio, and I'm a Taurus. I just wanted one Earth sign, but I couldn't even get that. I was like, let me get a Capricorn, please. Nothing. A whole new Libra.
Okay, I'm not. I always hear people talk about Zodiac. So whenever you were saying that you wanted a Capricorn, you needed more Earth signs in the house. My wife is a Capricorn.
Hmm.
What was that? Was that going to was that going to give you a more peaceful child, a more peaceful household?
Probably, yeah. Yeah. I
Okay.
think Earth signs get along really well. Um, right now I'm Earth. The boy is fire. We get along pretty well because fire can harden Earth.
Okay.
But then they daddy is water. Water softens earth. And then the girls are air and they consternate me. The only reason we really get along is because we both have Venus as a ruling sign. I'm a Taurus and they're Libras, and we both are ruled by Venus. And that's why we don't be at each other's throat all the time because me and air signs really don't get along at
Uh,
all.
see, I got a cousin who is real big into Zodiac, and she talks about all the stuff you're talking about now, but I always am getting confused because I'm like, well, if if you're born in October, like I'm born in late October, so I'm Scorpio. But man, I start getting confused when you start talking about the ruling signs and the Scorpios who are they're born in October, but they have the sensitivities, the whatevers of another sign and the ruling sign like you're talking about. All that is where I get confused at.
Yeah. I always say I'm a May Taurus, which is the real Taurus. April Tauruses are like Aries. They may as well be Aries. Ain't nobody worried about them. I mean, it's cute they say they Tauruses, but they really act like Aries.
Mm, okay.
But I get along. I get along with Aries, which is the sign before mine, and I also get along with Gemini. A lot of people don't get along with Geminis. Gemini's on the other side of me. So my bosom buddies, the ones on either side of me, I get along with just fine. I love them.
Nice.
My mom is an Aries. My sister is an Aries. Her husband is an Aries, and we all get along just good. Well, I won't say too much on, not too much on her husband, because sometimes I be disagreeing with him. But I mean, that's his fault. He could always, choose to be right and agree with me. But we all make choices in life.
Hey, you, wheelchair user.
What's up?
I want you to take a bow because you are one pretty motherfucker.
Were you always big into Zodiacs?
No, I started maybe in high school. It was this book, and it was the lady was saying no different things about different signs. And she was like, Taurians are always going to be pretty. And I was like, oh, let me get into this because I sure am pretty. Hold on.
That's what I'm talking about. I like that.
I was like, let me get into this because I think this is true. This sounds like me.
Okay. Nice. All right, so Sasha, so you were
I'm
diagnosed with
Sasha.
multiple sclerosis. Oh, Sasha, I'm so sorry, Sasha. So you were
Mm.
diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. What was the? I just had the question in my head. God, dog. You were diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and oh, here it is. So, what is the diet that you decided to go to? How do you feel about the diet? Do you feel like it's actually working for you?
So, I started off with what's called the Walls Protocol
Yep.
by Dr. Terry Walls. And as I got to Googling and looking for things that I could eat under her diet, it was like some inconsistent stuff. So one of the things that she said not to eat was nightshades. And one of the
Mm-hmm.
recipes I found on her website had peppers in it. I'm like, peppers is a nightshade, Terry. So I came out of that because you're not gonna piss me off with this. I know what a nightshade is. You know what a nightshade is. Stop playing in my face, please. So I went to what's called the autoimmune protocol. Now, the person who crafted it and is like the biggest champion of it is Dr. Sarah Ballantyne. I think she also goes by Paleo Mom. And
Huh.
basically, is I say it's working because I think statistically, people who get diagnosed with RRMS have a couple more relapses before a year is out. And so I've
Mm.
been 2 years relapse free. I had no relapses in 2 years, and I've been doing this diet for 2 years. So I'm blaming it on the diet because I really haven't done nothing else. They say you're supposed to exercise and do all this, that, and the third. All the exercise that I get is chasing children around the house. Every once in a while we go to the park maybe, but I don't be like, too heavy on the exercise because I don't have the time. And then when I do have the time, it feels like a really big production and I just don't be on it. So
Yeah.
I'm counting it to the diet, but we don't have insurance again. We will have insurance. I hope by next month I'm gonna go and get, an MRI and see if the lesions that were there are still active and all that other jazz. For like some empirical evidence that what I'm doing is fine. Um, but without having insurance and then knowing how much MS meds cost,
Yeah.
and then knowing that if you lose the insurance, then you lose the meds basically. I don't even
Yep.
really want to get started on it and then something happen and we don't have insurance and then I'm stuck out there without.
That's exactly what I did.
So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this. And this is what I've been doing. And it seemed to be working. Now I do have, contingency plans. If something happens and I get worse, I hope I'll do an immunomodulator, like an Albagio or something like that.
Okay.
Um, but I'm on all the MS newsletters and I'm looking at, the new things that are coming out and things that still are yet to be tested and da 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 da. And I'm like, I hope if I have to ever go on medication, that they have something that does all what I want, the
Yeah.
medication to do. Because I don't see the point in being on a medication that only is supposed to like slow the progression, especially if I can slow the progression with diet by myself.
Yeah.
Why I'm gonna go sit and be infused for 6 hours?
Yeah. And pay all that money and go through all that trouble of it. Oh shit. It,
Exactly.
it is a lot of trouble of that.
It is. And like also I grew up, my mom like I said, my mom has MS and I have like memories, vivid memories of her. She would have seizures when she had relapses. And her being in and out of the hospital and my grandma telling me, they still haven't found the right medication combination and da 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 da. And I'm like, I don't want to go through that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just sit this one out. I'm gonna wait until they get to the hopefully I can make it so when they get to the remyelination medications, the ones that help to, fix the myelin, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'll do that. I'll do that when they get it. Hopefully I can last that long, however long that's gonna take.
I am not gonna lie. You seem to know a lot more about the medications and what to do with the medicine than I do. I am on this is my 8th year.
Mhm.
My first I got diagnosed in 2016 and I had employer insurance. And the first 6 months Like I went on the medication called Tisabri, and my when they found the MS in 2016, I had like 12 to 16 lesions. I had 12 to 16 on the brain, and I had like 4 on my spine. So I had like a total of like 20. And then they put me on the Tisabri. They put me on the heavy steroids for I had to do steroids for 5 days straight. I had to do it like twice in 6 months. And the steroids didn't make me feel a whole lot better. But of course, you gaining weight, you're not supposed to be doing steroids like that. So by the end of 6 months, when they checked my MRI, when they checked my MRIs again, my lesions had tripled on the brain and they had tripled on the spine, and I had a lot more symptoms kicking in. And I had that thing that they always trying to scare you with called the John is it
JC virus.
the JC virus. I was JC virus positive.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, I quit all healthcare and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't come back to healthcare until 6 years later. Like I was doing I stopped drink. I didn't stop drinking alcohol. I stopped eating meat. I stopped eating meat. I made some other changes. I read a book called I read a book by Nurse Ann Bocher, and she had it was called Curing Multiple Sclerosis, Healing Multiple Sclerosis. She talked about the different diet and how bad meat was and all types of other little stuff. So I was doing all that, and by the end of 6 years, I knew something was going on with my vision. So I came back. I went to the doctor in 2022, and the doctor was like, "Oh my God, you have multiple sclerosis. Where have you been? You are you are legally blind." Like, no, I'm not legally blind. I can see. Like I've been seeing, I've been doing shit. No, son, you are legally blind. And since then, I've been on healthcare since 2000, pretty much until 2022. What it is, I'm usually on Affordable Care Act. So they put me on Ocrevus last year. I did Ocrevus twice last year, like you're supposed to. It's like Ocrevus is that commercial comes on when they do all that damn me singing. That Ocrevus is like $45,000 a shot every 6 months. It's like I'm worth you were talking about medicines earlier. I am worth, if I take all the medications and everything that they prescribe, I am worth $1.1 million every year as a patient. And the average person with primary and progressive multiple sclerosis is worth 1.5. I'm at 1.1. Like the Ocrevus is 45,000 every 6 months. They want me to do Botox, and Botox is like $80,000 a month. It's a bunch of crazy ass numbers. And none of the stuff ever has seemed to work. Like I don't feel like I've ever taken anything that works except for I take oxybutynin for the restroom because I go to the restroom a lot. Like without oxybutynin, I gotta pee about every 30 minutes, which of course will drive you insane, especially if you're in a wheelchair and gotta do all
Uh-huh.
that transfer and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I take oxybutynin, that slows me down to like every 2 hours. And then I started taking Flexeril a couple of months ago because I went to get MRIs, and the lady, they had like a 70, maybe 80-year-old lady trying to help me get on the table. I am severely disabled. I'm a grown ass man, severely disabled. I'm over 6 feet tall. I'm like 6 feet, 180 pounds. This lady, she has all gray hair. She is bent over. I'm wondering, like, shit, how did you even get a job working in here? They knew damn well you were gonna have to help somebody do something, and be damn sure trying to hit me on that damn table and fucked around and dropped my ass, which
Oh.
slipped the disc, and then so they
Oh.
put me on Flexeril.
A single act of gratitude can increase happiness by 10% immediately and reduce depressive dance symptoms by 35%.
Wow.
Flexeril, and the Flexeril is the first medication. I feel like if I take it, I have a little bit less spasticity, just a little bit. And I got to take it like 3 times a day for 2 or 3 days in a row. Then I can feel a little bit less spasticity. But if I mess around and miss 1 to 3 times a day, I got to start all the way over and take it 3 times like I'm supposed to for 2 or 3 days. Then I feel a little bit better. And I've been rocking with that ever since.
Now, do you do that just to go to your MRIs, or do you do that consistently?
I do that. I was never like I got a bunch of muscle relaxers and shit like that. I never used any of them because I didn't feel like they worked. Now, the last two, I went to get MRIs in like March or April, and I spasmed and had so many shakes that they couldn't even finish. Like I'm shaking in the machine, they had to go and pull me out. And then, so I went back maybe a month or two later to try again. And this time I took like a couple of Flexerils. Like I took like a couple of different medicines. My physical therapist advised me, hey, why don't you try taking double? Because I know none of the stuff, you feel like none of the stuff works, but maybe if you take double, you'll at least sleep through it. So you'll at least be in there and be still the whole time. And that worked. So I took double I took like 5 or 6 pills all at once. I took like I took the Flexeril, I took that stuff called gabapentin, and I took there's another one that's just like a pure sleeper that makes fun of it a lot on movies, and not Ambien, but it's something like that. But I took all 3 of those and I was sleeping the whole time. I slept like for like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and they finished up. Then they brought me out, and I was all good to go. Now I got the Affordable Care Act. Affordable Care Act would not pay for Ocrevus, so I came off the employer insurance last year. Affordable Care Act just pretty much laughed in my face. Ocrevus, 45,000. Hell no, you don't need that. So they denied my applications. And I mean, like I never thought the Ocrevus worked, but the minute I didn't get it, the third time I didn't get it, like I started feeling bad. I started feeling a whole lot worse, started feeling a whole lot more pain. I was having more spasms, like everything I could feel getting worse.
What if they put you on instead of Ocrevus? They had to give you something instead.
Nothing. The Affordable Care Act denied all those MS medicines. So denied everything. I couldn't get anything. I went into the doctor, called it of course, the neurosurgeon said, oh my God, you're going through a bad flare-up. And 3 months after not getting it, now I'm doing so bad that they have approved all the Ocrevus. They have approved the Botox. I'm supposed to have a special wheelchair because I'm like severely disabled. Like my whole body's in the shape of a wheelchair now because I've been stuck in this mug for so long. And the wheelchair that the doctor prescribed is like $25,000-$30,000. So of course, Affordable Care was like, no, we ain't doing that shit either. But I've gotten so bad since not doing Ocrevus in March like I was supposed to that they approved that. So now it takes them like 3 or 4 months to create and make the wheel. They got to come out and measure you, your weight, your height, your actual dimensions, shoulder width, how far your shoulders are apart, your booty, all that stuff. And then they customize and design a custom wheelchair for you. It's that wheelchair, when they got done, the wheelchair would be $25,000. And of course, since I have out-of-pocket expenses, and my out-of-pocket maximum is only $1,500 with the Affordable Care Act. So as soon as I pay for that, it's gonna pay for the wheelchair, it'll pay for all my medicines for the rest of the year. However, I'm not paying for Ocrevus or any of that shit until they give me the wheelchair. I'll pay for the wheelchair. I'll pay the $1,500 for the wheelchair, beat my maximum, then I'll do Ocrevus, then I'll try Botox again, then I'll try other stuff. But until then, man, damn the medicine, Sasha. Damn the medicines. I need a wheelchair so I can actually live better. Like I'm not trying to live longer. Help me live better. I'm trying to live easier. I'm trying not to have such a hard ass time with everything. Damn all that living longer. Just help me live better. It's been my motto pretty much for the last couple of years.
I understand because I feel kind of the same way. I know that I'm going to live a long, long time. My great granny lived over 100 years. My grandma on my mom's side, still living, and she well into her 80s and still like moving around, moving and shaking. So like MS might slow me down, but that means I'm just going to be slow and old. I'm going to live for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to live for a long time. You always read that shit about multiple sclerosis, that it makes life hard, but it ain't taking your life.
It don't kill you.
It don't kill you. It just makes everything hard as shit, but it will not kill you. And then, of course, it's the snowflake disease. So just because somebody goes through or gets this shit going doesn't mean you will do it or you will go through it. because I'm the only one in my family that ever reached primary progressive. And I reached it. I hit that mug in like 3 months. I got there. I got here quick.
Yeah. I know for male-bodied folk, it's worse and faster than it is for femme-bodied folk, and I don't know, but they don't know why, because they won't do the research and differentiate that female bodies, this is what happens with female bodies, and this is what happened with male bodies. We just know that males progress faster than female bodies do. I think it got something to do with hormones and the hormone cycle, because I can feel like my symptoms are different along different parts of my cycle. And I know, like, I can count on having energy like the week of and the week after my cycle. I can count on that. I can count on my energy during those times. And that's when I do a lot of my video recording and stuff like that, because I know that I'm going to have the energy to do it. Now, editing, that's another story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, I get around to it, but having the energy and like the brain bandwidth to just get in the footage is a pain.
When you do your editing, are you doing it on the computer or on the phone?
No, I'm doing it on my phone. That's why I'm so happy I just got a bigger phone, because I had been working with the iPhone 8, and the screen is not at all. The screen's so small, and I'm sitting there, typing really tiny and trying to figure out. And then also
trying to maximize certain parts so you can see that, and then shrink it back down. Oh,
right.
Shit, yeah.
Yes. It is a pain. But now I got a bigger phone. I got the iPhone 11. And it's bigger. The thing is, I don't have as much storage on the 11 as I do on the 8. So now I'm trying to figure out a storage solution. It's a pain, but it's going to make things easier. And then just finding the time to do it, because I have the boy is 9. He'll be 10 in November. The girl is 7. She'll be 8 in September. And then the little girl is 2, will be 3 in October. And between them and their daddy, it's like, I just can't have no peace. I'm surprised right now ain't nobody knocking at my door. Like, I closed it and locked it. I'm surprised ain't nobody knocking at the door, but I know their daddy is here, so they might be out of doors. Because the little one, if you say outside, she'll have on her shoes, wrong feet, pants on backwards. She ready to go. She's like, you said outside. Okay. I'm with it. I'm at the door. I'm waiting for you by the door.
And I'm still looking for a perfect. What the fuck is this? Oh my god. There's a bird in my car. Oh, it's a bird.
So whenever you are managing your kids and you may be low on energy because of the MS, do you have any tips on how to juggle the exhaustion of multiple sclerosis and these kids who never seem to get exhausted? They only get exhausted whenever you feel great. That's when they want to be tired.
No, I don't have any tips. I think a lot, because if I got to come in there, everybody gonna have a bad time. And they know that. So if I say hush, y'all better hush. Because if I come in there, I'm taking tablets, I'm unplugging TVs. Everybody gonna sit down and sit in the dark and look at the wall. Don't play with me. Don't play with me.
That's what I used to call gorilla daddying. My kids used to call it gorilla daddying too. Like, I'm gonna come through and beat my chest. Look, you gonna sit your ass down, blah blah blah. And since of course I can't do all that loud. I don't do all the loud talking, big talking anymore, because I'm in this damn wheelchair. So I'm in the point now where my wife and I watch a bunch of the murder shows and crime documentaries and shit like that. Now in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking like, shit, I'm a whole lot smaller. I can't move. I can't stand up. I can't crawl. My kids could whoop my ass if they really wanted to. Like, they could actually look at my face and like, whatever, daddy. I'm gonna go upstairs. You be cool right there. Like, I can't go upstairs and check a room. I can't do a damn thing. So what I have learned that helps me out a whole lot with managing the kids is Have you heard of that shit called love languages?
I have. I don't think a lot of it though.
I didn't either. It's that thing where it's like everybody speaks the five love languages. It's whichever one you match up with the most. So they got stuff like words of affirmation, touch, quality time, gifts, and acts of service. Those are the five. And when I first used to hear about that, I just always thought, well, shit, that's dumb. All girls will be gifts. Girls always want stuff. And so I've always treated my daughters and my wife that way. And then when I actually read about the book in 2022 and started going by it, then I realized like, oh shit, my wife don't give a damn about gifts. She is acts of service. That's the reason why I come in here with perfumes or some clothes or some type of expensive whatever. And she looks at me like, I mean, it's cool. I'll take it. But if I actually wash and fold and put them clothes away, I'm going to town. Like she's gonna take me out. Like I'm gonna have a good ass time that night. If I find a way to get the kids fed in the bed while she's watching TV, so she may look up and she's like, I gotta go in there and cook something. I already fed them. They in the bed already. Really? And then just like that, I have a good ass time that damn night. I didn't realize that acts of service was her love language. And it's like that with like one of my daughters is words of affirmation. But I've always thought as long as you buy girls stuff, buy your daughter something, they go, yay, daddy, I love you, daddy. One of my girls is gifts. I got my wife is acts of service. My oldest is words of affirmation. I got one boy, like just like you. My one boy is he is words of affirmation as well. And then my youngest, she's a lot like what you're talking about with your youngest. She's man, she's all the way a daddy's girl. She's never stops talking, never stops moving. She is quality time. She's like quality time and she's words of affirmation. So once I treat the kids like the actual love language, like suddenly they begin to do more stuff. I didn't have to fuss as hard. Rooms got cleaned up a little bit more. Chores were done a little bit better because I'm speaking in the way that actually works for them. Now, will they apply that shit to each other? No. Did they apply that shit to their mama? No. Has their mother done it? No. Has she treated me like no, I'm the only one doing it, but it has made a huge difference in my relationship with all five of them. The love languages. I learned about the brain hemisphere, the left and right side brain hemispheres. I knew about learning styles already because I'm a former teacher. I just never used that shit on my own kids. I'm always just gonna beat my chest and you can sit your ass down, get into them chores or whatever, whatever. And now I can't do all that fussing. Now I actually got to use my words and talk and communicate with people. It's a whole different world on this side. Whole
I
different
mean,
world.
we do communicate because we're homeschoolers.
Nice.
So we still do a lot of, stuff and interacting and things like that. I guess we have a pretty close relationship because we're homeschoolers and we're always around each other all the time. But they still kids. They still kids. They still gonna be, active and overactive and but it's not too bad. I do recognize when it's a me issue. And I can tell like, okay, it's me. I'm cranky. So I need y'all to go out of my face right now because I'm cranky. And if y'all don't go away from me, I'm going to be cranky at you.
Yep.
And they understand that. I think maybe I explain a lot or over explain a lot. Like, okay, this is how much energy I have. This is what I need to do with the energy. If y'all make me come off of the list of things that I got to do for energy, that means that y'all are going to miss out on something. Because when my energy gone. That's all I got. So if y'all decide y'all want to, bother me and divert my attention from the thing that I'm doing so that I can take care of you, cool. That means maybe y'all don't get dessert tonight because I'm not going to make whatever I was going to make for dessert. Or, I have an energy budget. Y'all can either get with it or y'all can be upset about something. Y'all let me do what I got planned. We're good. If y'all take me away from it, then that's on y'all, because y'all the ones gonna be out of it. Because I'm going to have what I need for me. Y'all the ones not gonna get something. So y'all make the choice, and usually they choose to go out of my face and leave me alone so I can do what I'm gonna do, and everybody is happy. Except
Okay.
the little one. The little one, she don't care. She be
Yeah.
like, "Ma,
Never do. Little
don't
ones
care,
never do.
don't care," because she
Never
the
do.
baby, and she the baby, and she
Yep.
knows she the baby.
So have you actually, so you must have told your kids that you have MS and had to talk to them about your energy and stuff like that.
They know I have MS, and they know that I'm doing the diet for the MS. In fact, my son, he be playing in my face. He gonna tell, it was my birthday, and grain free means I had to have like a super special cake that I wasn't gonna make, so I didn't have no cake for my birthday. And my son gonna say some, yeah, mom's birthday cake gonna be lettuce. He told my daughter, the mid kid, that, and she told me because she a snitch. And she told me, and I asked him, I said, son, did you say that? And he looked all embarrassed. I mean, if you said it, you said it. Say it with your chest. Hold yourself to it. Did you say it? He said, yeah, I said it. Why would you say that about me, son? I'm not gonna eat no lettuce from cake. But they know I have MS, and they know that I'm doing mostly diet for it. And they know that, I have an energy budget. Even if I didn't have MS, I would have an energy budget as a parent.
Yeah, true.
I may not have articulated it in such a way, but I have an energy budget. I can only do what I can do, and I'm not going to burn myself out.
Yeah, them spoons ain't no joke.
Mm-hmm.
Spoons are not a joke.
I mean, I've burnt out before. I've had burnout before, like especially in college, because I was working 2 part-time jobs and doing schoolwork and everything else, and still partying on the weekends, and having relationships with people and stuff. That's exhausting. I've had burnout before, and I don't ever want to be in that space again.
I design t-shirts for wheelchair users that are not afraid to be called wheelchair users.
Does having, because of your diet, does that add extra chores to your cooking responsibilities? Are you the cook in the house?
Yes, it does, because they won't always eat what I eat.
Yeah.
There are some things that they will eat, regardless, they like, and they're gonna eat it. But like, I made spaghetti squash with a red sauce.
Yes.
Don't say that, because it was not that great. It was okay. I gotta work on it and get it better. But they didn't like it. They didn't like that. So I had to make them spaghetti with tomato sauce. With actual, spaghetti noodles. They wasn't too into the spaghetti squash. So that means I got to do 2 dinners. Got to cook 2 things. And that happens pretty frequently. Actually, now I'm kind of documenting the process of, I'm starting to meal plan for them, because really I only have the energy to cook one big thing a day.
Yeah.
That's really all I got the energy for, is one big meal. And that's kind of all I do eat. I kind of do eat 1 meal a day, and I have little snacks before I get to my dinner,
Yep.
But for them, they need breakfast, second breakfast, 11th lunch, after lunch snack, dinner, dessert, and then a little bit of something before you go to bed. That's like 8 times they got to eat in a day, So
That's
I'm
the
in
same stuff my wife used to talk about. When I was not eating meat, she used to always talk about, I got to cook twice. I got to cook some vegetable shit for you. And the kids are not going to eat all these salads and the spaghetti squash and the broiled cabbage. They're not going to eat that type of stuff. So she used to get on my ass about that. She used to tell me about that. So when I finally came back to meat in 2000, started eating meat again, Father's Day 2023. And of course, since I've been eating meat again, it's been easier on everybody else, because now we all eat the same shit and whatnot. But like, there was a lot of stuff, a lot of my health issues that had gone away when I used to take medication for reflux and heartburn because I actually have the ulcer. Actually have the ulcers in the throat. And when I stopped eating meat after a few months, I realized like, oh shit, I don't have any more heartburn, any more reflux at all. So I was able to cut that out the medicine I was able to cut out. And now I'm at the point where now it took it about a year, but now I'm officially back on all those antacids and stuff for the reflux and heartburn because yeah, now it wrecks
Mhm.
on me. And when it gets me, it doesn't last for like 2 or 3 hours. It's gonna last for shit like 14, 15 hours. Like I'm going to go to
Oh.
sleep, wake up, and it's still there. I'm gonna wake up throughout the night with the stuff bubbling all out your mouth, and you don't know if you're gonna either spit it. Yeah, I go through all this shit, all that stuff.
So
And
far, well, I don't eat red meat, so I don't eat beef or pork. I only
nice.
eat chicken and fish. But I cut out red meat I cut out red meat before this diet, right? Because I had an uncle who passed away from colon cancer, and the second he passed away from colon cancer, I said, "Oh, it's in my family. What causes colon cancer?" And they was like, "If you eat a lot of red meat," and I said, "I'll never eat red meat again." And I never ate red meat again.
Gosh, dog.
And so I just cut out the red meat. But I haven't had the one time I had red meat after I quit, it was organic, grass fed, the $20 a doggone pound meat. And that didn't do anything to me. Like it didn't hurt my body. But I had just store-bought ground beef. My stepmom had made some chili. This was many, many years ago. And I ate it. And I was very unhappy in my body for many days after. I said, okay, that's confirmation. I need to come off of red meat. I won't eat it no more. And I ain't had it. Ain't had it since.
Been down that road. I've sure been down that road.
But people be like, oh, how do you don't eat pork? The only thing I miss about red meat is chitlins, and that's it. If I could find a poultry chitlin, I'd be fine. That's the only thing that I miss.
That's one thing you probably gotta leave the country for. I bet you go to some other country, they got stuff just like that. They got stuff like the other countries.
I saw vegan chitlins, but they weren't called chitlins because they were in Korea. Koreans will eat chitlins, but they don't call them chitlins. They call them something else, and they eat them. Eating animal organ meat is healthful. It's a health food. That's why I keep saying I'm waiting for whenever somebody, it's gonna be one of them palm people gonna hop on the internet and be like, so how do you clean chitlins? The doctor says that I need to eat organ meat, and I've learned about chitlins, and I want to know how to clean them. I'm not telling you nothing, Caitlin. I'm not telling you nothing. Because I know it's gonna happen. Because I know part of the diet that I'm on, they say you're supposed to eat organ meat twice a week. 2 servings of organ meat over the course of a week. Because the organs is where there are a lot of nutrients packed. Because the organs store it and meet it out, put it out over the body over time. So if you're eating the liver, you're eating the liver of an animal, that's a lot of things that was stored for that animal that the animal don't need no more. And now you can have it. Right? So they say you're supposed to eat organ meat twice a week. And I usually do shrimp, whole seafood is considered organ meat. So if you're eating a scallop or a shrimp or something like that, where they can't dissect it and take the organs out, the organs are in there. That's still organ meat. So I eat some shrimp. And I do chicken livers.
Wow, learn something new every day.
And so that's what I do. But the only thing that I would add to my diet that I had cut out from before is chitlins. Everything else I done found, if it's on the pig, I have a way to get close to it with poultry. I can get something turkey or chicken and do it. But I haven't had red meat in probably almost 20 years now.
Wow. Okay, so check this out then. What is you say you didn't have any tips, but you just give us some awesome tips on organ meat and how it's reaching the nutrients. I didn't know any of this shit. It's like when you think about it, you like when I think about it, it makes sense. Like, oh, it does make sense. And I bet the heart, the liver, the organs, I bet that does have all the nutrients and everything. I've never actually wondered about that. Never. That's good thing. Good shit. Thank you very much. How about this then? What is your tip? Do you have a mental side tip for everybody? Like what you do to keep yourself in a better mood, to keep yourself out of a bad place? What do you do whenever the kids have pushed you over the limit and you got stuff to do for your MS? What is your tip then?
I just blow up.
Mm.
I'm gonna snap out.
Let it all loose.
Yep.
Let it go. No,
and then everybody tiptoe around and be upset and sad, but hey, go sit down on my face. But it doesn't happen very often. I'm a Taurus, so I have patience, and I am growing my patience in new places now. But eventually it gets to a point where I just like, I'm gonna snap. And if y'all don't leave me alone, y'all gonna feel like I'm snapping at you because y'all gonna be there when I snap. So y'all can go and sit down, let me be mad by myself, or y'all can have y'all feelings hurt. It's up to you.
I see that. Give it to them. That's that. What do the kids call it? It's that real talk. That real talk, son. Real talk, son. Real talk, son.
Because I'm not going back. Well, I do go back and forth with them because they keep talking back, but
yeah.
But I'm not going, like I said, I'm not going to reach burnout. I'm not going to be stressed. I just refuse. I refuse to get there. I'm not going to do it. If they, I think that the older ones especially can understand. It's the little one that don't understand stuff. And you could tell her and ask her to repeat it back to you, and she'll say something completely different. But she's only 2, so you just gotta roll with that.
Are you a movie watcher or a book reader?
Oh, I have comfort shows. Like I just got done rewatching Monk.
Oh, my sister used to love that.
I like Monk. Every time if I ever type out, here's the thing. I'm saying it just like Monk. Here's the thing. I love Monk. I love Psych. I like procedurals. So like Law and Order, shows like that. I like propaganda. I know it's not real.
Do you watch the true crime documentaries, or you prefer more like the drama about the crimes?
I like the drama, the drama about the crimes. I don't like the true crime stories because it makes me feel distrustful of everybody. Because that's real life.
They will do that. That's what I was talking earlier about. That's what I was talking earlier about. I've seen so many true crimes about kids killing parents and aunts and uncles and shit like this. Sometimes I be like, yo, let me
I'm coming up out of that. I can't.
Calm down. My kids miss on whoop my ass for talking too much shit.
Right. Because then I feel like distrustful of everybody, and like I'm in the grocery store and somebody looking at me too hard, and I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna put me in his van.
Yeah, they will do that to you. Damn show make you think stuff like that, and you miss trying to go home and turn on the TV, and it's in the middle of an episode where somebody then got kidnapped and stuck off in the trunk or in the van. You're like, God, dog. Yeah, I sure have been there. I'm big on gratitude. I'm big on gratitude journaling. I'm always telling people there's a difference between being grateful and showing gratitude. If you are being grateful, that means you just list off what you're grateful for. I'm happy I have a house. I'm happy I got kids. I'm happy I got a job. Happy I got legs. When you share your gratitude, that means you are actually telling why you are grateful, or you are writing out the story of why you are grateful. So you may write in your gratitude journal, I'm happy it is not raining because I'm going to go outside and play in the backyard with my daughters. They're going to pull flowers and stick them in my ear. And I'm going to watch my son be terrible at basketball. That whole story that you write down, of course, is your gratitude. And that's important because that takes longer than just saying, I'm happy I got blinds, I'm happy I got hair, happy I got Carmex, I'm happy I got a job. Writing out the story, it takes longer. So that's been a huge part of me keeping my mental side together as I deal with all this. With the kids, with the marriage, with the MS, is always being accountable and writing in my gratitude journal. Now that you know what gratitude is and what being grateful is, can you share a story of gratitude?
I don't know if that would count,
I bet it does.
really. So I am grateful that I know I am the expert in my body.
Nice.
When I first got diagnosed, I had a general neuro doctor. He wasn't an MS neuro.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, yeah, you got the lesions. This is MS, you know. And he looked at me and said, have you started pooping yourself? And I'm like, what? No. He said, well, that's coming. I was like, I bet it won't. You're not my neuro anymore. Because I'm not going to deal with that. You're not going to talk negativity over my life, sir.
Yeah, that's
You're
not
good.
Cool.
And I know that, you know, as you progress, because my mom, even though she was still mobile, she had to wear diapers because she did not have she wasn't able to control her bladder anymore.
Yep. So mine is.
And she had it for years. She got diagnosed in the mid or late 80s. She got diagnosed like 2 years after I was born. She was diagnosed. And so she had, by the time she got to wearing diapers, she had been MSing for a good 20, almost 25 years. And whatever medication she was on, she didn't get to that point for 20 some odd years. So looking at her, I'm like, okay, maybe I can just do what I'm doing and not have to be back and forth with the doctors and stuff. But me knowing me, I'm not gonna let no doctor tell me any old kind of thing, any old kind of way, and say that's gonna be my story. I'm sorry, you got me fucked up. You don't get to tell me what's gonna happen in my body.
Hell yeah.
I run this. You are a consultant at best.
Yes. It takes a while. A lot of people who are dealing with the chronic illness, with multiple sclerosis, it takes us a while to get to that part. It took me a long time because even after I quit healthcare, I was still trying to ask people stuff, still trying to get stuff, and I didn't consider myself an expert in what I was going through. I'm always trying to ask other people and get these other thoughts on what I was doing. So, yeah, that right there damn sure counts as the gratitude. Being grateful that you know and you accept that you are the expert of your own body. You are expert of what you're going through. Because, man, Queen, that's gonna save you a lot of shit. That's gonna save you a lot of shit, but you already know.
I think because I have had negative medical interactions prior to getting to having MS. And I've had doctors like completely dismiss what I'm telling them is happening and had very bad outcomes because of it. And so now, if I tell you something and you're not listening to me, I'm going to go find a new doctor if I can change doctors. Or I'm going to tell you, hey, by the way, this is my body. I know what's up with it. You need to listen to what I'm saying. But I haven't really had too much now, because I make it a point to look for doctors who have marginalized experiences. I only do doctors of color. I try my best to do women doctors. I don't want to ever see another male doctor ever again, because I generally do not, like, by the numbers, I don't have good interactions with male doctors. I had one male doctor who I loved, who he birthed the boy, and I was happy about that. But other than that, all my interactions with male doctors have been very prickly, and I'm like, you know what? For my safety and yours, I'm gonna find somebody who's not a male doctor. because I don't want to be, getting arrested at the hospital because I cut somebody out.
I agree with you on that one. I haven't had my male doctors. I've only had one male doctor that I actually like. He was a neurosurgeon. I only saw him twice.
Mm.
And he wasn't a MS neurosurgeon. He was a regular neurosurgeon, but he just listened a lot. He kept a chart of all the nutrients and supplements and shit that I was taking, like the irons and the magnesiums and D3s and that resveratrol. He would keep a track of all that. He was super cool. And I have not. So I've always felt women doctors were cooler. Easier time talking to them. Except when it comes to therapists, the women therapists I've had for physical therapy and occupational therapy have been the exact opposite. Like they don't listen. I feel like they don't listen. They don't. Kendrick, what do you want to work on today? And I tell them, yeah, you know what? Let's work on something with my back. And I'm doing a bunch of other shit that ain't really helping with the back at all. So yeah, I totally get you on that one. Since your mom had multiple sclerosis, does your mom ever try to give you tips or maybe tell you that you're going wrong with how you were doing your multiple sclerosis?
No.
Nice.
She doesn't. My mom knows that I'm smart. I'm not gonna do no shit, not have a plan and not having had researched it decently before I jumped into it, especially if it comes to cutting out foods. Okay, because I love grain. I want a Pop-Tart. I want that chocolate cake from Aldi, that double chocolate fudge cake.
Yeah.
every ingredient in that motherfucker is off the list. So she already know if I'm not eating the double chocolate cake from Aldi, that is serious. And I done did all the research I need to do. And she knows, she's like, okay. Now is she gonna do it? Absolutely not. But she know that I know what I'm doing. And even if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm gonna do it anyway. And we gonna see what happens.
Nice. Okay. I see you going with that one. Yeah, I see you going with that one.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
But I think maybe the most difficult part is they daddy. He's always like, oh man, I want to go here, I want to go there, I want to go out to eat and da da da. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you because I know they use seed oils and everything. They gonna at least use black pepper, and I can't go out to eat. I need to cook at home. I need to have food at home. And he's like, oh, we can't never do nothing. We can find something that don't have to do with food and go do that. And then also with the masking, because if I wind up with long COVID and MS, somebody's gonna pay. Somebody. I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about money either. Somebody gonna pay.
Somebody getting their ass whooped.
I'm gonna be at Mitch McConnell's door. Hello,
Get him
Mitchell.
a couple of times for me. Get him a couple of times for me. Oh wow.
How you doing, Mitchell? Did you know I got long COVID because of your policies? Hello.
Are you in the state of Kentucky?
No, I am in Indiana though, so I'm nearby. It ain't nothing but a hop, skip, and a jump.
Being from Houston, Texas, Indiana, to me, Indiana and Kentucky are all in that. In my head, they're all in that. What do they call it? The Midwest, the Bible Belt.
Yes, it is very much the Bible Belt. My granddad on my mom's side was a pastor, so I was a preacher's grandkid. We was in church all the time, and even I speak fluent Christian, even though I'm not a Christian at all.
My father's a big time Bible thumper, and my mom is an atheist. So we didn't grow up going to church. We grew up. My mama made us read the Childcraft Bible story. We had to read a Childcraft Bible story every Sunday. We had to read one or two of those. Then we could go play, clean up, then go play. If I stayed at somebody's house and they woke up early on a Sunday to me, man, we going to church, dog. I'm gonna call my mom, come get me. I'm not. I wear no church clothes. I'm not going. No way. Mama, come get me. They are going to church, and I ain't got no church clothes.
We were
That's
at
good move.
church all the time, and that's was a huge point of contention because I hated dresses. I don't like wearing dresses. I still rarely wear dresses. But now if I wear them the way that I want to wear them. Right. It's not as huge a deal. But having no agency as a child, and they're like, oh yeah, you gotta wear a dress to church. And I'm like, I don't want to wear a dress. I want to wear pants. And I know now, pants make me feel secure. My legs are enclosed. I
I
like
get
the
it.
feeling of
I get
knowing
it.
that my legs are covered. I like that. Um, it was a comfort thing for me. And they're like, no, well, you got to wear a dress. And I'm like, okay, y'all are completely disregarding everything I said. So as soon as I got old enough to not go to church, I stopped going to church, and they'd always be like, "Oh, well, don't you want to have a relationship with the Lord?" And I'd be like, "God's fake," because I was a complete, I was an asshole. Like when I was from 18 to 22, I was a complete asshole. So anytime they asked me anything about church, I would just say the most blasphemous thing I could find. Um, I'm calmer now that I'm
Pushing back.
almost 40, but I still don't. I'm not going to church. I don't go to church. I don't want to. And nobody can make me.
Get that.
Yes! Yup, that's why I added goals to my gratitude journal.
How long have you been I see you on social media a lot. How long have you been doing in my head, I consider you an influencer on social media. How long have you been doing that? And was that always a career thing, or was that something you started up after MS?
It started in earnest after MS, but
Okay.
I was the not a moderator. I was the admin of a Facebook shit posting group that was like 13,000 strong. And
Wow.
we'd be in there playing all the time. But then Mark doesn't pay for people to admin groups. So I made a page because he'll pay me on a page. So I'm monetized on Facebook and they'll pay me money for posting. They don't pay enough, and so I'm not posting a lot anymore. But I was in a shit posting group for the longest. And most of the people who are in my shit posting group all have some type of chronic illness or something. Like when I had my first relapse, I was in the group and I was like, hey, I can't see good. My legs are weak and I'm scared that I'm going to drop the baby while I'm carrying her. What can I do? And they were like giving me all these tips because a lot of them have mobility issues. You know, I have a very strong neurodivergent and disabled community online. And so I could throw out a question and it's guaranteed somebody has an answer for it. And so I went to my group and was like, what do I do? And they were like, you can do this, you can have this. This is what I do in my kitchen. This is what I do. So to make sure that my baby is safe while I'm carrying my baby and I, have, the weakness in my legs or whatever's going on with me. So for things like that, for practical things, I'm definitely gonna ask my community those types of things.
Nice.
Because they have the lived experience. I know people who are like in their 60s and 70s and have been dealing with different levels and different types of disability for over 40 years. Right. So that I'm always going to use my community in that way. And that's really what I use social media for. There's nobody in IRL who I could ask these types of questions and get any type of cohesive answer. Right. But I can throw up a signal online and I'll have like 50 people coming to pour out, help and assistance. And so I really like that. And I don't know if I'm an influencer because I really am more of a community builder, because if I don't see the communities, I don't see many communities that would serve me. Like I tried to do the MS Reddit. I don't like them motherfuckers. I'm in there.
They took me off last week because somebody told me last week, hey, you are always posting your stuff and you post your stuff too much in MS groups. I'm like, yo, I post in the MS group, in a gratitude group, and in a wheelchair group. There's 3 fucking groups. I'm a member of all 3. What are you talking about? See, how don't you talk about with that? That MS Reddit will damn so pissed me off.
Because I told them, that I wasn't gonna be medicated because okay, I think that my
They don't like that.
I know that the hormones play a role. I also know that after you have a baby, your hormones don't get back to normal till the baby's like 2. So if I start a medication, then my hormones have something to do with how I'm experiencing the disease, and then my hormones change 2 years later. I'm gonna change the medication 2 years later. No, I'm not going through all of that. We're gonna get one thing, and we're gonna have that one thing if I need that one thing, right?
Yep.
But they were like, no, we're downvoting this because you have to have medication. And I'm like, y'all are fanatical about a body that's not yours. Fucking weirdo.
Telling you, that's when I learned about all the cost of all these expensive ass medications, it suddenly made sense to me why people push you so hard to take fucking medicines and why they get so angry about you not taking a medication. Like it's suddenly like, oh, that's why all these people stay in your ass. Cause that's how folks are getting paid. If you're not, like I said earlier, I'm worth 1.1 mil. So I know as long as I'm not taking, I get calls constantly. Calls, emails, you get them random ass text messages with no name, like a long ass text. Hey, this is so-and-so from so-and-so doctor's office. We want to know when you're going to start the Ogrevest. We've been calling and checking on you. Like, this long, I don't know who the hell this person is. Long ass message. Have your whole name in there. Like, don't nobody call me by my middle name. Where y'all get us information from? God, dog, yeah.
When I got the diagnosis, they sent me a letter from like the Social Security disability people. And I was like, I know I'm not disabled enough to get Social Security disability. And they like kept calling, kept emailing, kept sending me mail. So finally I called them and I was like, what do y'all want? And they say, so you have multiple sclerosis. Are you able to do XYZ? Yes. Can you do this, that, and the third? Yes. Well, maybe you're not disabled enough. I know. I don't know why y'all was calling me. Y'all could read my files. The same way I got my information to let y'all know I had MS, you could see that I'm ambulatory and I don't need, stuff. So why are y'all bothering me? And they were like, oh, well, when you get disabled enough, you can give us a call back. I won't get disabled enough. Thanks, bye.
That shit.
It's madness. It's madness.
Yeah.
But I do understand that disability is expensive and somebody makes buku bucks off of people being disabled, right?
Yeah. I'm sure I have no idea who that person is, where they are, but yeah, because the people who are getting disability, it's never enough.
It's not. No, not the people getting the disability check. The people who make the money off of the services that are provided to people who are disabled. Yeah. Those people, they all rub elbows with the governors and the presidents and the Congress people to make sure they are first in line for those government funds that are coming out, that $85,000 for previous or whoever, or home health aides and things like that. If you need that type of assistance, there are people who make buku bucks because they don't pay the nurses, the people who come out to your house and help you do everything you got to do. They don't pay them.
Don't pay them enough.
They don't pay them. And they certainly are making a lot of, they're profit machines. They're profit machines. They're not non-profit organizations. They make a lot of money. And that's why they sit there and wait. They wait like vultures. Just wait for you to decompose so they can figure out, how to pick at your corpse and get all the money that they can out of you. You won't see a cent of it. It'll never come to you directly.
Never.
But they gonna get their money. They gonna get their pound of flesh.
Got that right.
Yes, you do have what it takes. Yes. Every day you are rocking those disabilities. You are rolling those limitations. Stand in that. And if you can't stand, then you sit in that. You own that. You take that. You believe that. You have what it takes. You prove it every day that you make it despite the disabilities. You are a testimony to it every day despite the limitations. Take that.
That's right. Damn sure right about that one. Well, Sasha, I have sincerely enjoyed this conversation. I usually have these scheduled for 30 minutes. Yo, sis, we have been on this mug for like over an hour. I'm enjoying
Oh.
this hell out this damn me talk. This has been I have learned. You have told some good ass stories, because I'm telling you, the thing about the organs being so rich in nutrients.
Mm.
Once that hit my head, I start thinking about it like that. I'll be damned. I'll be damned. Now there is something there. I'm gonna start rocking harder with. And then, of course, whenever you were talking about the confidence that you have in yourself to be the expert in whatever it is you're going through, to push back on people telling you to do this or do that. Yeah, all that's good shit. We need more MSers need to hear that type of stuff right there. So 1,000 thank yous for that.
And masters and women, because doctors love to tell women that, oh, you're just hysterical. No, actually, my liver is coming out of my ear, nigga. I need you to fucking. They make it seem like you are crazy.
Yep.
Because you're experiencing something and they don't know what it is, and they don't want to look foolish by saying they don't know what it is. They've had all this training, and that's another reason why I choose to go to marginalized people, because they are not afraid to be like, you know what, I don't know. Let me research some stuff and get back to you. You don't get that with men, and you don't get that with palm color men in particular. They love to act like they know everything.
Keeping that forever palm colored.
Oh, you don't even want to get me started. I got a list.
Mindset Over Bullshit is a self-help podcast published by Kendrick Avant and designed to help people see their value through the power of gratitude journaling.